Welcome to Cinematic Anarchy, where today we are going to be discussing...
Don't worry, darling.
Don't worry, darling. Yes, I was stopped myself midway because I'm realizing we're going to be discussing... By the way, we have Nico sitting here to my
What's
right.
up? I'm back. Hi. How's it going?
So, I am completely and utterly forgetful.
I have this oversized fucking jacket, but it's cozy.
Well, that's because I forgot to remind you that we're doing video before I dragged you over here. I do apologize about all the noise going on outside. I am sitting right next to the dragway and we don't have soundproofing here. I apologize for that all the time. But,
C'est la vie.
There's only so much you can do. It's the winter. People like to have loud cars now, and that's just the thing. We are going to be talking about Don't Worry, Darling, starring Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine,
Nick Kroll, Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, that
How
one
the
threw
fuck
me.
does Nick Kroll get Olivia Wilde?
Well, we figured that out later on.
Kidnapping.
We figured that out later on. But it's kidnapping. But I think she knew the entire time. Not kidnapping her.
No, she was down the entire time.
She was down with the entire time. I feel like there's a few women there that were there on purpose. Chris Pine's wife, I feel like she was there on purpose.
She knew.
But she got tired of him fucking up everything. I say a lot. I've got to actually get out of that habit.
She knew the whole time.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
She was definitely part of everything.
Spoilers ahead, because we
spoiler podcast.
We have to actually look at the camera and do the podcast and talk to each other.
Looking at the camera.
We're trying to get video out there. And we're not used to that yet. We're not used to that yet.
I've also had a couple beers, so hi. How's it going?
Well, we gotta get you to
good.
Just do the full on makeup. You used to do this on TikTok all the time.
All the time. Yeah, that was 3 years ago.
You can come here and full on Halloween the devil makeup that you had on. I loved that. That was
great.
Really good.
Fucking the sclera contacts are expensive.
I can't wear contacts. I just have a thing about poking myself in the eye, putting things in my eye.
Yeah, I can do the thing.
That's why I'm wearing
these. It takes a lot of effort.
I'm wearing these because I can't do that. And I like these. I bought these.
Those are some nice glasses.
I went online to Zenny Optical to go get my glasses. Now, these were a mistake, these glasses. Because what I was trying to do was get reading glasses. Apparently, my 48-year-old ass has gotten to the point where I need bifocals. Okay? But instead, I decided to buy them separately.
Okay.
I saw the laugh. So...
It's bifocals?
Yes. Well, how old is your brother?
My mother.
Your mother? Oh, no.
She's
60.
She's 65.
Okay, you made me feel that much older. Thank you. I am fucking grandpa over here. I'm not fucking grandpa, but I'm old.
Oh my God, Christopher.
So I went and ordered these glasses thinking that I was ordering my reading glasses because that's what I asked them to send me. Please send me a copy of my prescription. I need to get new reading glasses. They didn't explain to me what I needed to do was I needed to move over the two parts that say plus 150 on this side and put them into the area where there was the adjustment. They didn't tell me that whole thing.
Okay.
And so I didn't move that over. So what they sent me was they sent me the glasses that I need for driving and basically my everyday stuff. So I need to wear these every day, but then the reading glasses, I got to take these off, put on the reading glasses when I need to read shit.
That's so tedious. Oh, man.
Oh, it is tedious. That's why I should have bifocals.
That was a little sarcastic, but I don't understand the feeling because I don't wear glasses, but I get it.
Funny enough,
I guess.
The bifocals cost more than buying the two pairs of glasses separately. It's because of the lens.
Yeah.
So I was just I'll just buy them each
specifically.
Why would I do that? But that was a whole long explanation to say I bought these glasses.
They're nice glasses.
And then my son walked up to me and put on his glasses, and I'm looking at him wearing the glasses that are on my face, basically. So I bought the exact same frames that he bought. And he's like, oh, now we're accidental twins. And I'm like, I would hope that doesn't embarrass the hell out of you. He's 20 years old. I shouldn't be buying things to match.
You guys got the same style. It's all gravy, baby.
I liked them. I saw them.
Glasses.
They give you a thing where you can kind of try them on. And
yeah.
This is not a commercial for Zenny Optical. I apologize. We are supposed to be talking about Don't Worry, Darling.
I always get off topic.
I was told by my son that I had watched this in the past with him, and I did not remember having watched this.
It's a good movie.
At all. I think I remember bits
Black
and pieces. Black Mirror, yeah. That's another show I need to watch. I haven't watched Black Mirror.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not
Chris,
fucking kidding you.
Come on.
You could almost, from what I understand, you could almost do individual podcast episodes on episodes of Black Mirror, because some of them played like movies. Like full-on movies.
I really need an anthology series of the fucking whiteboard from Cabin in the Woods.
Right?
And that...
I feel like they could have made an entire series about that show. I really do.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, not that show, that movie.
Yeah.
I say show. Because, I mean, it basically, the whole idea is, it's almost, I'm trying to think of the word for it. It's almost like Hunger Games as a horror movie. That wasn't what I was thinking about.
Hunger Games is a horror movie.
Hunger Games is technically
not really, but
movie.
Like
technically. Oh, well, the whole point
for
is for there to be like one person. You're supposed to kill everybody.
Anywho.
And be the last person alive. We're not talking about that movie. Or the other. We're not talking about Cabin in the Woods either.
We're not talking about Don't Worry, Darling either.
Okay, you've had a drink or two, and I have ADHD, and this is not helpful.
Yep.
So, all right. So
what's up?
I watched this film, and you say, what would you say it felt like? It felt like Black Mirror.
It's very Black Mirror.
I felt like this was like a high-tech Stepford Wives kind of thing, where the guys were trying to turn women into the perfect versions of what they wanted from them.
That is also valid.
Because it seems like maybe a good 90% of the women here were not brought here
willingly.
Yeah.
No. None of the other wives except for Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh, no.
Right. And Olivia Wilde she subjected herself to this because her
children
were dead.
Yeah.
And so she wanted a world where her children were still alive and she could still be a mom. Which makes me wonder, was Nick Kroll doing this for her to keep her stable or make her feel better?
Or did she entrap him the way that all the wives are trapped?
Right. Well, that's the thing. I don't think she entrapped him. Because the idea is that the reason during the day here, right, it is essentially...
He used to work with everyone else.
During the day, it's essentially nighttime for them.
Yeah, so Nick Kroll leaves with all the other husbands, and goes to headquarters and leaves the simulation with all the other husbands. Like, he knows the truth. He knows that, like, this is all bullshit.
This is also the most serious I have ever seen Nick Kroll in anything.
Right?
I usually see him as a comedic actor.
I've been waiting for oh my god, Andrew!
Right? I don't know, maybe, is it, what TV show?
Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, right. There you go. My brain is just, woo! It was a long day at work. I tried to rewatch this a little bit, but I can place him in, like, so many different things. He is, like,
Lola
next level
Fuglio something.
Was he one of the sex monsters?
He's most of the characters in that show.
Well, that's a funny show. And I know he's good friends with like John Mulaney because they do a thing together as well.
I fucking love John Mulaney.
They're both in Big Mouth.
I know.
Yeah.
I've seen it, and it feels weird watching it because it's just a bunch of kids masturbating, and
it is like, what would happen if Dr. Spock, the guy that used to write the sex ed books for kids back in the 70s and 80s, right?
Leonard Nimoy wrote sex ed books?
No, Dr. Spock. different Spock altogether, not Leonard Nimoy. Very different Spock.
You can see the confusion, though, yes. Right? Like,
well, he basically wrote books about puberty for kids, so they could understand like things that they were going to be going through, and like they had little sex ed things.
Sounds terrible.
It's horrible, but it is like what would happen if Dr. Spock had decided, you know what, I'm going to make a vulgar comedic television show, and that's how we get Big Mouth. So I
mean, you just give Nick Kroll control over everything, and then that's what you get with Big Mouth.
Just when you get a chance at some point, just Google Dr. Spock sex ed books. You'll understand.
I feel like I'm gonna get put on a list if I Googled that.
I don't think he was ever put on the list. I just think that it was just one of those things. Like, parents didn't know how to talk to their kids about certain things, so they're like, here you go, have a book, leave me the fuck alone. I'm not having the birds and bees conversation with you. Dr. Spock will teach you. And I think I had that thing too. Like, Dr. Spock, isn't that the guy on Star Trek? Why is Spock gonna teach me about sex ed?
Okay, you can. How the fuck am I supposed to know who the fuck Dr. Spock is?
Live long and tug gently.
Oh my god.
So, moving on. Back to the movie. Please, take me back to the movie so I stop talking about these things.
Oh my god.
I watched the film. This is a really good film. I'd probably
so good.
I rated it a 5 on not IMDb.
It's very incel, not very demure. It's a one of those good for her films.
It is. It's a female empowerment film, but it's like a female empowerment film. It felt like it came from the 60s or 70s, just the same sensibilities as like a Stepford Wives kind of film.
Well,
except for they let her escape. I don't think the Stepford Wives. 50s. Right. I think that's the whole idea around Stepford Wives too, because I think, like, if I'm not mistaken, there was something about a guy that worked for Disney, like doing the animatronics or whatever, that kind of got the whole thing together, basically made robot wives. Like, you could replace your wife. Have you ever watched the Stepford Wives? I think the original was like you could replace your wife. Basically, they would go through this whole thing where the wife would do dictation, and basically she would talk to these guys. They would figure out her speech patterns, and then they would replace her. Like, at some point, they would replace her with a completely subservient robot version of her. So these wives were basically animatronics, like robots, cybernetic. They make movies about that now. That new Megan Fox movie. They have another one coming out. I
watched Subservient. Is that the movie?
Yes, I believe so. The one with Megan Fox?
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was disturbing. But I think Megan Fox has found her calling. It's a movie about her being a fairly emotionless robot.
Fucking her way to the top. Let's go.
Besides that part, I'm trying to stick with the whole female empowerment thing, you know.
Yeah.
I think they have another movie coming out called The Companion, if I'm not mistaken, like this month, next month.
I feel like I've seen commercials for that, but I don't know. And we're also not talking about the movie.
We're not talking about the movie. Well, we're talking about how this is similar to those kinds of ideas. Basically making subservient versions of women for men who basically couldn't control them in real life.
Are all the men in red that keep, like, dragging people away just programs? Or are they real people too?
I imagine they are workers. Like, I think Chris Pine created this place.
Because, no, fucking, when she's being chased by the two guys on the side in the red.
Yes.
Trying to get back to headquarters at the very end when she's trying to get out. Fucking, she slams on her brakes, and these two cars with 4 men in red slam into the guy that's screaming, "Fucking stop her!"
Right.
And it flashes over to Chris Pine, where he gets notified that only the guy that's been playing the doctor is dead.
Well,
they don't care about the men in red, so they're just programs, right?
I don't think they ever really verify that. I think
that's my theory, and nobody 50-50. Can tell me otherwise.
I feel like I'm 50-50 here. These could be people that work for Chris Pine to try to maintain this. I feel like this is an experiment that Chris Pine has dragged several couples into, him thinking this is a utopia. This is one of those, for lack of a better word, misogynistic men who think that he had...
All those soldiers in red, like... Yeah. They don't care about getting hurt. They don't fucking do anything. They don't say anything. They never have any...
There's no dialogue from them. I mean, but if you don't have any dialogue from them, they don't have to pay you quite as much. It's just you...
And it's, like, towards the end, we realize that it's been established. It's a fucking simulation.
Right. And this hub is where... Or Victory Headquarters is basically where they go back to reality. By touching this little hub.
The men in red are just programs, fucking cleanup crew.
Right. This part, okay, we're still kind of watching the movie over here. So you've seen us. Now that we have video, and you're not going to hear or see this with, obviously Spotify or Good Pods, wherever you might be listening to this, but we're over here looking to our right the entire time instead of paying attention
watching
here.
The movie, yeah, right.
I'm still only 90% used to video.
I'm not. I haven't been on video in a very long time.
Well, I will tell you that it is a lot more difficult for me personally to do this just with you here. And I only say that because, like, when I have the people from the Strange and Beautiful Book Club podcast,
more people.
There's somebody right here on the screen that I have to pay attention to.
Yeah, and it helps you stay focused.
But yeah, I don't focus well to begin with because my ADHD ass is just like, oh, shiny thing over here, and I'm off looking over this way. And now I'm trying to watch an entire movie while I'm doing a podcast, which makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Okay, so who's your favorite character?
My favorite character in the entire thing, I mean, obviously, Florence Pugh's character is the best. If you can't pick her, though, I mean, because she's the focus of the entire thing, I would say Olivia Wilde.
Bunny is fucking fantastic.
I really do like her, and she's the only other person that really goes through the whole emotional spectrum. And she's there willingly, so she's been masking herself as one of those subservient housewives the entire time, playing the game. Where they really lose the ball, though, is that Chris Pine is obviously an idiot. And I think, like, at the dinner...
He gets drunk with power.
At the dinner is where his wife realized he was an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? She was defending him. I think his wife knew the entire time. So I think
he started egging on Florence Pugh and got too fucking cocky.
Well, okay, can you tell me the moment where his wife, I feel anyway, that his wife realized he was an idiot? There was a moment that happened during the dinner, something she brings up. Again, those spoilers, because we say spoilers at the beginning anyway.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is.
The food?
Nope, not the food. It was part of the questions she was asking. So she started asking everybody questions.
All the wives have the same fucking
backstory. Yeah. Almost all of them.
Almost all of them. It's always specific between 3 fucking regions.
So essentially what was happening was the story where she met her husband, because he has to program them to remember
specific things,
right? We don't want you to remember your
most
past.
Of the wives, a third of the wives, I can't say, I can do words. A third of the wives, their fucking meeting their husband's story was they dropped their ticket at the train station. He picked it up. It was all romantic, and they were going to Boston or Chicago.
Or people were going to Boston.
Yeah.
It was the same story, though. It was the train ticket story each and every time. And his wife...
they all honeymooned on the same 3 beaches.
So that's the thing, is that he was not smart enough to provide everybody with individual backstories. He was selling a product where basically you come in and we give them this one backstory.
Yeah.
Or maybe a small variation, but it was not. He didn't plan far enough ahead to make sure that everybody has their own backstory, and that's where it really started to blow up, and why it was.
And there's over 60 families there now.
70.
70 families.
Yeah, I believe they said 70. So there was 70 families between like 3 separate cities.
And they don't. They're getting a lot of fucking money for these fake fucking for this fake universe, and they can't pay people to come up with different backstories. They can't pay fucking creative writers.
This is why I think it was a husband and wife team. I think you probably are right that
they have the money for it, clearly.
Right, that this was a thing where
have people write the story and then program it, and then boom, you're.
It was a husband and wife team that had an ideal of how this is like the I don't want to say Christian, but it is almost the Christian deep South Christian version of what men and women, or they think what men and women should be doing. Basically, the man goes to work, the woman stays home and cooks and cleans and provides.
And meets him at the door with a smile and a fucking glass of whiskey.
And basically sex whenever he wants.
Yeah. I want a baby.
This is a woman that can never tell you no.
Fuck off.
She's not allowed to tell you no. That's what this is. And I think this was a husband and wife team, and they had created this virtual reality program that allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
And so you're selling this to desperate people. I'm curious as to how these other folks looked outside of this program, because Harry Styles, his character, looked horrible. Like he looked like
Nick Kroll looks like Lola from Big Mouth. Oh my God, Andrew!
That would be.
Why won't you pants me?
That would be very funny. I doubt it, just based off of, how Bunny is. I don't think she would want to do that. Is there a QR code just flashing in the background over there?
Yeah. Yeah. There is.
Okay, I gotta stop looking at the TV over here. We kind of play the movie in the background sometimes, so we have points.
Sometimes, every time.
Every time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time.
So now I got this QR code flashing over here, because it makes me feel like later I'm gonna just pause the movie and figure out what the QR code is.
The robots are getting in our brains.
I mean, well, it's entirely possible the QR code will bring you to where you can really do this with your families.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Oh my God.
No.
Oh no.
It's kind of weird though, because it's this whole thing. I
keep thinking that Dylan's gonna walk in.
Dylan, oh yeah, he does that all the time. He'll come in and
he's a very angry puppy.
There was an entire episode that got ruined. He's not a puppy. I called him a puppy yesterday. You're a good little puppy, except wait, fuck, you're a cat.
He's a fucking cat.
He actually ruined an entire episode once. He walked in here, and I didn't notice that he had accidentally disconnected the power wire to my computer. So midway through the episode, I think it was maybe the second episode we did with the Strange and Beautiful Book Club podcast, midway through the episode, it just completely cut out. And I had to get on my phone and bring them back up and say, give me a minute, I have to plug everything in. My cat literally just walked and everything.
My goddamn just hates me.
It's like, fuck. So he's good at that. He's good at just laying waste to things as he walks by. I was thinking to myself, though, okay, so the whole premise here is that this is a virtual reality thing where it's a headset, or it goes over the eyes, and basically it's almost like goggles, but they're basically scanning your iris and putting something directly into your vision.
No, it's not even like goggles, okay? It's like those fucking metal things that are they obstetricians?
Yeah. I was thinking of that thing that
they use for laser eye surgery to keep your eyes open.
Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
Like when they use those things to keep his eyes open so they can constantly feed him images directly to his eyes.
Exactly. Oh my God. That was
fun. You shouldn't have done that. Why are you just...
I'm getting dirt in my eye now. God damn it.
Right? It's too dry for you to like open your eyes like that. Your eyes are just gonna be bothered the entire time.
Watch, I pop a fucking blood vessel.
Well, now you're rubbing your eyes; they're gonna be bright red while we're recording.
Great. Oh god, I promise I don't have conjunctivitis.
Don't touch me. I was just that was a joke. Anyway. But so the idea is that they basically put these things over her eyes.
Yeah.
And they're feeding her images, basically creating this virtual reality world that he has to leave every morning. So their night is morning within the simulation, and then he leaves every morning to go work for these people to pay off.
Yeah.
So they're basically getting free labor from these guys.
Also,
I'm wondering,
and these women are in bed 24/7. Fucking like, who is actually taking care of their bodies? Because the bed sores.
So the idea is that he's supposed to maintain the body of the person that is the within this program. How is he going to be able to do that? If he's using a dish rag, squeezing water into her mouth.
I did not see him bathing her.
No, I didn't see that at all. That's why I'm saying this idea is not sustainable unless both parties know that they're within the program.
There needs to be a whole facility with.
They both need to be able to leave.
Workers.
Exactly. It can't just be him. She needs to be able to take care of herself at some point, unless she's hooked up to an IV of food.
And the last scene where she's dancing after she gets out, that would not be possible with how long you've been in there.
Right. Muscles definitely would have atrophied.
Muscular dystrophy is a real fucking thing.
Because I think they said day 280 something.
Yeah.
She'd been in there for almost a year laying in bed. So that's assuming that they all started together.
This would be fucking numb.
That's assuming that they all started together and didn't just come in one by one. It seemed like at that point they were still adding new. Was it Willow? Is that what her name is? The newest person that had just come in.
I
wanted to say Willow, but maybe that's
not Willow. God damn it.
Right, well, this is why I was initially going to bring up all this information on my phone, because I don't write fucking shit down. I don't take notes. And
neither do I. We're bad at this. Go to the Google.
Go to the Google and do the things. And this is also why I should be wearing glasses. And it's not even telling me the name of the characters.
Violet,
okay. Not Willow, Violet. It gives me a handful of characters and then cuts me off before Violet's even mentioned. So that's Violet and Jack.
I haven't updated my IMDb, so I don't have that yet.
No. I was just going, something happened with Safari and it updated, and now whatever it's bringing me to a stunted version of what I used to use.
I have a couple of friends that have been saying the same thing about the IMDb app.
Right. This privacy warning comes up every single time that I try to go into another thing.
Yeah.
It's really weird. So
fucking trying to Google anything, I get I'm not a robot.
Yeah. I am a robot.
Or yeah. Are you a robot? No, I'm not a robot. Prove it.
I mean, you think AI would be able to fool them by now.
Right.
But so my whole thing is I don't think anything that happened within this is sustainable.
No,
if
not at all.
Both parties don't know that, because you'd have to, the part of the package would have to be not her laying in his bed in his apartment while he takes care of her. Part of the package would have to be her being in another place. So nurses would have to take care of her in a facility, yes. That's why I don't think any of this is sustainable. It's
not at all.
Weird. They're missing some parts here. I like the movie for what it is. It's a good idea, and you definitely have a sequel on your hands here. I feel like there is a direct sequel that is them flipping the script on guys.
I was more so thinking that it would be an action of Florence Pugh taking down the whole entirety of fucking Victory.
Well, I think that's mostly what they were trying to lean towards at the end, but they cut it off before giving it
Exactly, that's what the second movie's for.
She escaped. My feeling is, okay, the woman
And now she's trying to convince the world that victory exists, and it's a bunch of incels keeping women fucking trapped in a virtual reality where they have no idea what's going on. And they think it's the 50s.
I've already moved into the sequel part of this. I think that, like, if you put a sequel out there, with Christopher Pine having been basically killed by his wife at the end of this, she's like, it's my turn now. Right? That's why I feel that she, being the woman that she is, tired of his shit, but also still wanting things to kind of be like this.
Yeah.
Taking men, I think she could use this program and take men that she feels are unacceptable in reality. Basically, men that wouldn't work hard, wouldn't try to support their wives, wouldn't do what they needed to do, bring them into this program and basically make
My hands are really dry.
hard-working guys. You know?
Yes, I'm down. I love it.
I don't think the 50s sensibility, the off-putting Christian sensibility that the man has to go to work and the woman has to stay home and provide provide the clean household and the cooking and the cleaning and all that shit. I don't think that has to be a thing. I think that the way life is right now, it should be 50-50.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're dynamic, if you want to be that person, that's fine. Women shouldn't be forced into that position. But if you want to be the person that says, okay, you know what, I like the fact that my husband goes out, takes care of everything, cleans, and
as long
I'll do
as
the cleaning.
The open communication is key.
That's not a bad way to live, if that's what you want from life. However, that shouldn't be what is expected of you. She was a surgeon, if I'm not mistaken, in her own life.
She was.
His big problem was the fact that he was no
working
longer
all the time, and he wasn't the main focus of her life.
He lost his job. He had been unemployed for a while.
Yeah.
He was stuck on the computer, and he wanted her attention, even though she had been working for 12 hours and needed rest before going back to work. This means that at some point while she was sleeping...
I sewed up 12 people today, and I was in the OR for 30 hours. Bitch, do not touch me. What the fuck?
This means at some point Harry Styles, he had to have drugged her and put her in this position.
That's exactly what it shows.
Drugged her, wiped her mind, and then...
He drugs her, and it shows, like, flashbacks of him dragging her on the floor, fucking putting her in the bed so that he can do his thing.
Which means that every woman that was in that position also had to deal with the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you could have...
I still want to know, did Olivia Wilde do that to Nick Kroll? Because, like, why him?
I feel like Nick Kroll actually, out of grief, agreed to do this for his wife. She knows that she's in there. She asked to be in there. And so she's the only one...
together.
She's one of the few people that they didn't have to wipe her memory to put her in there.
How the fuck does Nick Kroll get Olivia Wilde?
Maybe that's...
Let Olivia Wilde do disgusting things to me.
You know, honestly, Nick Kroll here is not a bad-looking guy. He really isn't. He obviously is the kind of guy, like Jim Carrey.
He's
not a bad-looking guy. But there's some areas of his life when he was like doing like In Living Color that he could stretch his face, make himself look really weird. That's what Nick Kroll does in other things.
Confusing, like,
you have a guy that could be that is attractive on a normal basis, but also gets a lot of his fame by making himself look really weird and unattractive.
Yeah. And
so you've got two different images of the same guy.
It's weird attraction, and I don't like it.
Nick Kroll's not a bad looking guy. You know, he isn't. He's not a bad looking guy. And not for nothing, there are some women, very good looking women, that had gotten to the point where, you know what? I've dealt with asshole after asshole after asshole after asshole that was good looking. This guy makes me laugh, and he's not terrible looking. So I think he's the average guy that got the beautiful woman because, you know what, he makes me laugh.
I get it. It's just,
He's not funny here because he's also a husband that's lost both of his kids somehow.
True.
So, to compensate, he brought her kids back the only way that he could through this program.
My face is so itchy right now.
Don't rub your eyes.
I'm trying not to. All right, I know. I keep looking away and touching my face. My face is so itchy right now. It's like allergies or something.
Who do you feel like did the worst performance in this entire movie? The worst performance in the film.
The worst performance?
Yes.
You
know what? I'm gonna say it. Nick Kroll. And the reason I say that is because he is all over this film, and he did nothing that would make me feel like he was a memorable character outside of a slight outburst at the end.
Who is the other wife besides Florence and Bunny?
We just said there was. There's the
third wife.
The third wife,
with
the
black
pregnant
hair.
one with
yes,
the alabaster
the
skin.
always pregnant.
I can't remember her name for the life of me.
Peggy.
Okay.
Peg.
The one who was talking about, I love being in the sun. You wouldn't be able to tell by my alabaster skin. The reason why you can enjoy the sun with your alabaster skin is because you're not in reality.
Yeah.
You are in bed somewhere. Now, here's my question. She's pregnant.
Always pregnant.
Bear with me now. She's pregnant in this film. Is this somehow a situation where this guy, who now has his wife, drugged, strapped to a bed, and blah, 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 is now having sex, and she is a pregnant woman in real life, but... Aha! See what I mean?
Oh, no.
Right.
Oh, my eyes.
You can't do the wide eyes right now. Your eyes are dry. You need to get some...
God.
Drip drips.
Honestly.
Yeah, you definitely need the dry eye shit right now. So that's what I'm wondering. It's is this a situation where...
That fetus. Right? Oh, my eye. I'm good.
The fetus doesn't have dry eyes.
I hope not.
Well, that would be weird in the womb.
Is it still in the womb? Is it in a false womb? Is it in a fucking jar?
This is what I'm wondering, oh
my God.
These children that you keep seeing throughout this thing, now we know 2 of them are just a simulation. Oh my God. But are the other 2 children, the twins that were both wearing the same outfits, the boy and the girl that were delivering drinks, are they simulations? Or are there in some way...
I thought those were Bunny's kids.
No, those aren't Bunny's kids.
Okay.
Because remember, they delivered a drink to Bunny. And she's like, those kids creep me out.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's during the initial party where you first see Chris Pine. And he's introducing the 2 new members of the community. So,
got you.
And this is also where we have that first outburst from, what's her name?
Margaret,
the one that basically ends up killing herself during the film and setting off Florence Pugh's character.
Don't be crazy. You didn't see her kill herself. How are you going to believe your own eyes over me?
Oh, she had a bad fall. She's really embarrassed about it. And he's like, no, a bad fall. She slit her throat.
Go fuck yourself.
You're trying to convince me that I didn't see a woman standing on a roof and slit her own throat.
I'm
trying to understand the plane imagery. Because her son was supposed to have been with her. Now, this is assuming...
Okay, so the kid's plane is the plane that Florence saw crash.
Right. But this is also assuming that the children was also in this virtual reality program with them. Because that was supposed to be her actual son.
I think the kid was Margaret's simulation child, but they took that simulation away from her. I think she lost her kid, too.
So this is how some people were dealing with women that had grief over the children?
We don't know who chose this and why.
I would like a little bit more information. I would have dealt with an extra 15 minutes of this movie just to have a little bit more background.
It would be very helpful if they did that.
Like, why are these other folks here? I would like Margaret's question answered. Blah, I just tripped over my phone. Why are we here? Because I want to know the why are we here of everything. Yes, I do have things popping up on my TV. Not my TV, my... I think Discord is sounding off in the background because I forgot to turn off the sound on my computer. So it's like... So, hello, Discord. I'm not going to answer you
What's up, guys?
I don't think we're on Discord. I just think
maybe not.
You're just saying what's up, guys, to YouTube.
Hello, humans.
Peace. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna just let's see. I will just do this real quick so I don't have to hear them anymore. That'll help.
Can we pause?
No, we can't pause.
I have to pee.
Oh, well, now everybody knows. But well, we're getting to the end of everything too. Yeah, so true. We've discussed the film. We've discussed who we thought was the worst actor in the film. You thought Peggy. I thought Nick Kroll's character was definitely pretty bad.
I want to punch him in the face. I want to punch him in the face.
But Nick Kroll, he is such a memorable person when he puts on a performance. Yep. For him to fade into the background as hard as he did in this, like, if you give me a couple of days, I'll forget he was even in the fucking film.
Yeah, right?
I will forget. So to say that about Nick Kroll, knowing that everything else he does is just like in your face memorable, that's pretty hard. That's why I felt like he did the worst performance. I'll remember Peggy. I'm not going to remember him. He was so vanilla in this. Love you, Nick Kroll, but just not here. So hopefully you got a good paycheck.
I mean, it's Nick Kroll, so likely.
Virtual reality Nick Kroll looks better than actual reality Harry Styles, which is weird.
Did we research? I could do words.
You can? You can do words?
Maybe.
What are we researching?
How much money this movie made?
I have no idea. Let's go on IMDb. What was the budget and how much did it make? Did it make a lot of money? I seem to remember a lot of people talking about it.
Okay, you know how to look these things.
I know how to look these things up. So I seem to remember a lot of people talking about it, and it seemed to have fairly... Well, I don't want to say fairly good reviews, because I could see there that it had like a Rotten Tomatoes score of like in the 30s. Wow. So the budget for this film was $20,000. Worldwide, it grossed $87 million. So, sorry, $20 million, not $20,000.
I was going to say.
$20,000, if they got this kind of quality out of a $20,000 film, they need to be doing some low-budget shit. They really do. But yeah, $20 million. It made $87 million worldwide, only made $45 million in the States. So they definitely made their money back on this film. Why did we do this film?
I don't know. I like Harry Styles.
I do too, but we usually do like big budget like flops. We do flops and bad movies for the most part. I feel like we've been getting out of our element.
We have.
We haven't been doing things that just flopped or things that were like released
something that I need to talk shit about.
I feel like we should like do a separate thing for like big budget films that did well that we liked. Because it doesn't have the feel of cinematic anarchy, because we talked about some real shit in the past. Some real shit. I can remember to the day trying to defend Basket Case to you. And
there's no goddamn fucking reason for that shit movie to be in the fucking MoMA.
The only reason...
I don't care what anybody says. It does not belong there.
It is in the MoMA is because of the fact that it features a lot of historical...
There are so many better movies from that year that could have been in the fucking MoMA, and they chose fucking Basket Case? Are you goddamn kidding me?
I guess not. I still think Basket Case was a great film for a really trashy B movie.
Awful.
I really do.
Awful.
You haven't seen the sequels yet.
I don't want to. I'm going to, reluctantly.
We can watch the other two back to back, and then we can just talk about them both, so you don't have to be subjected to two separate episodes.
Oh, true. That
then
works.
You're still subjecting yourself to two of those movies back to back. Let me just tell you, there is an entire thing with a guy that has like a moon for a head. Yep. Some interesting creatures. It is an interesting series of films. It really is.
Oakley
dokley. That being said, do you have any other things that you'd say about this film? Anything else that you wanted to mention?
What's up, Harry Styles?
What's up, So Nico's going to take this moment to hit on Harry Styles from afar. Harry, if you're watching this, Nico says hello. I'm just going to say, somehow they put glasses on you and made you look terrible as the reality of you in this film, and then the stark contrast. Like, he was a debonair guy, like, within that little 50s world, and then you went back to it, and he was like any incel that you would see stuck behind a computer for years, just craggly face and just
deep acne scars.
How do you make a guy like Harry Styles look that hard?
With great difficulty.
They managed it. They really
Or a doppelganger.
Right? I mean, Florence Pugh still looked like Florence Pugh. She didn't look that much different from her reality, which makes me feel like he thought she was perfect the way she looked.
Pokies.
He just needed somebody more subservient to him. So,
Truth.
I've noticed a disturbing pattern of a lot of movies coming out lately about men who definitely want control of women that they have no real control over. And my suggestion to those guys, learn to fucking work with people. Why is it so hard to meet somebody halfway in life for a lot?
Because I shouldn't have to. I'm an American. Yeehaw!
Woohoo! I work 50-50 with my wife. I couldn't think of another way to try to get through life. I couldn't tell her, like, no, you need to stay home and do nothing. Just clean up after me and make sure I have food on the table when I get home. And,
yeah, that's just,
that would not fly.
No.
Candy
will kick your ass.
No, I don't think she would kick my ass, but she would definitely change the locks one day while I was at work. Just, oh, really?
Yep.
And I'd come home and she'd be like, hey, the doors don't open anymore. By the way, just so if in case you're wondering, your stuff was out on the sidewalk, but it's trash day too, so they thought it was all.
Oh no!
Yeah. She would plan it for that, just for trash day. It all went to the sidewalk so that you'd have it out there, but it was also trash day, so the trash people were like, okay, let's just toss it in here, and there went all your stuff, clothing and everything.
Yep. No questions asked.
So yeah. Some guys would think of me as less of a man for that mindset, but no, I think that, and this is how I feel about a lot of different things. I think that think about how much a house costs to be able to purchase nowadays. You have to have serious borrowing power on top of having a decent amount of change tucked away to be able to compete with some of the people trying to buy homes. Why? And this is just me spitballing. Why aren't more families, friends, working together to make homes for themselves? You think about it. Like, if I were to go purchase a 4-bedroom home right now, I only need 2 bedrooms.
It's trash, and everyone's scared, and nobody knows what they're doing anymore.
I think people spend so much time behind their computers, behind their video game systems, behind their phone, doom scrolling, focusing so much on themselves that it is difficult for people to figure out how to work with other human beings on an emotional and connective level. And so you're losing a lot of connections because you don't get out there in the world and actually deal with people. You know what? People are difficult to deal with. I'm a fucking difficult person to deal with on a daily basis. I really am. But if you take a few minutes to get to know me and sit down, we can have a conversation. I met you through my wife at work like years ago.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 6 years now?
6 years, right.
Yeah, I've known you for 10?
I can be a bit of a pest too. I really can.
Yeah, we've known each other for about 10 years.
Yeah, it's been 10 years now.
I'm getting old.
Hey, you know what?
I'm so old. My bones are 95.
Like, I'm 48 years old. I just turned 48.
I'm about to be 31.
You're 30? You're past 30?
I'm 30, dude.
You were still like 20, like 28, 29.
No, I'm 30, dude.
Go figure.
94.
Go figure. I honestly thought you were younger than that. Sorry.
Nope, but thank you.
All right.
It's that liquid collagen.
Thank you for listening to Cinematic Anarchy. Once again, please, if you have a chance, we are on YouTube now. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff that I hate telling you to do. But you know what?
We need it now.
The more followers we get on YouTube, the more likely it is that we can keep making lengthier videos. I mean, we don't want to try to cram a 2-hour
video. I promise next time I'll look like a person and not like I'm fucking having a stroke.
And I promise by next time, I'll figure out how to make slightly better content. So maybe I'll actually have notes the next time so that I can sit here and talk about something a little bit more confidently. Instead of being like, I'm calling everybody by their actors' names. I should be able to call them by the names that they ran by in the actual movie. I'm already like Florence Pugh's character and Harry Styles' character. I should be able to like say, hey, Jack, Diane, Alice. Alice, that was her name. Was that Wonderland?
That was definitely not Wonderland. I keep thinking that Dylan's gonna walk in.
Right? No. Well, we have like a breeze going on somewhere. I think that my son has the windows open, so the curtains over here keep blowing back every couple minutes.
When it blows forward, I see like this hint of white, and I think it's Dylan's face, and I'm just like, Dylan, he's gonna come kick my ass.
So before I let everybody go, I've already said we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Good Pods. Try to promote Good Pods a lot because they've been really good for us.
Yeah, let's do that.
A lot of our listener stuff. But here's what I'm going to say. Still, in the comments below, I want you to come up with a sign off for me because I've been doing your sign off, and honestly, the whole drink your water.
Drink some fucking water, you thirsty bitch.
That doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't. It sounds great coming out of your mouth. It doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. And I can't go do the, Jim Carrey sign off. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Can't do that whole fucking thing. So
let's find Chris a sign off.
Not just a sign off. You can put words in my mouth. So here's the idea. And if you've actually watched to the end here or you're listening,
you're going to trust the public.
In the comments below, I don't care if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify or you're listening on Good Pods. I don't care where you listen. What I want you to do is come up with some funny fucking shit. Tell me what you want me to say to sign off of this podcast. And the funniest one, the one that makes Nico crack up the most, I'll send them to her, is the one that I will start signing off of the podcast with. And we can update this periodically.
I'm down.
But get me to say some funny shit.
Show me what you got.
Right. I don't care. I have no humility. I am willing to embarrass myself. I had to pick
I'm down.
Cake out of my nose for a day and a half because of her. This is how much I'm willing to humiliate myself.
Oops.
All right. Well, yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
All right. I didn't expect you to jam the cake into my face as hard as you did. You rocked my head when you did that.
I didn't know the cake was that firm. I thought it might have been a little fluffier, for your own protection.
Okay. So here's the problem. It would have been a fluffy cake, except I kept it in the fridge.
For your own protection.
So this is a cake that I kept in the fridge to keep it fresh.
That's when you microwave it for 10 seconds with a little cup of water to moisten it up, and then, it's a little softer.
Hindsight is 20/20.
No, yeah.
I got a concussion from a cake.
He still has frosting in his brain.
Right? That's probably why I trip over my tongue as much as I do. Just frosting in the brain. Just constantly. Occasionally it just leaks into the gray matter, I sniff a little too hard and it's just there. It's like a sugar rush. Right? Just nose first. Thank you for listening. Drink some water, you thirsty bitches. Nico's got to pee.
Water, you thirsty bitches. Bye.